Says a clean city is a healthy city. Invest in the corporation says city, it's a healthy city for all of us. Clean city, it's a healthy city for all of us. Yeah, clean city, it's a healthy city. Clean city, it's a healthy city.
Cleanliness is next to godliness. The cleanest city to avoid sickness. The cleanest city to keep my malaria clean. Means the city mayor say, the cleanest city. Everybody join us now. The cleanest city. To all my market with me, oh. The cleanest city. Mayor Robert Desmond say, the cleanest city. Is the city corporation.
Good morning, welcome to another edition of the program PCC Today.
Let's keep the city clean.
On Truth FM 96.1, today is Saturday, the 22nd of March 2025. My name is Jeremiah Potter, DJ, presenting this edition of the program. On PCC Today, we'll bring the Pinzo City Corporation closer to you. That's what we do on every Saturday.
Beautiful people, let's keep the city clean.
Today we'll do our usual talking point and later on speak with our folks on Johnsonville.
Make sure to get
And our studio guest today is Will Duncan.
plastic all around.
And we'll be talking about advertisement within the city of Painesville.
Please, my people,
So don't you go away, please keep tuned.
we can make it better. Clean city is a healthy city. A clean city starts with you. Clean city is a healthy city. 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 Clean City Corporation says a clean city is a healthy city.
So all street vendors, petty traders, auction boys and girls, PCC City Corporation say they try to get you to sell on the meat quota in real market. The time finish, yeah. The people say the time finish 6 January 4, 2025. So PCC say you will go right back to where you used to be selling before the season. PCC also say if they catch you selling on the meat quota, they will take your market and carry it to PCC office and you will not get it again. PCC say selling on the meat quota can cause serious traffic and embarrass other people who won't go really to buy or to work freely. So nobody must sell on the meat quota again, yeah. You'll take you plenty for understanding. Now all of us here together to make the city of Painesville better, yeah.
With you, together we can make it look good.
Invest in the corporation says it's healthy city for all of. Business City Corporation says a clean city is a healthy city. Business City Corporation says. So that you say cleanest start with you, yeah? Yeah, my people.
But Jerry, what do you mean you talking and dancing like Jerry see being LA?
My man, you always be on time. You don't know that Business City Corporation (PCC) signed a memorandum of understanding with the township of Johnsonville to clean the entire Johnsonville township.
But wait, Jerry, what do you call memorandum of understanding again?
Okay, memorandum of understanding means that the Painesville City Corporation and the township of Johnsonville sign paper or, let's say, agreement. In the agreement, they say that beginning October 2024, the PCC people will be cleaning the whole of Johnsonville. And PCC will provide training for the workers of Johnsonville and also provide equipment and teach them how to use it. PCC people will be collecting taxes from stores and shops owners within Johnsonville. And also, they will be collecting taxes for debts within the Johnsonville township.
I see why you happy like this, because this idea is very good and helpful for the people of Johnsonville.
Yes, sir, my brother. So when you see the PCC people working in Johnsonville here, don't feel confused because you're under pressure. Go up and Canada all the time sing now. My people, beginning October 2024, the PCC people will start cleaning up the entire Johnsonville township and collecting taxes from stores and shops owners. And also, they will be collecting taxes for debts within the Johnsonville township. Remember, a clean city starts with you.
Thank you, Jerry. I'm going to tell my other friends in the community, yeah.
Okay, welcome back to the program PCC Today on Truth FM 96.1. We had a wonderful week. Not too wonderful because we had a major issue relating to garbage collection within our city. So we'll read this Joan Press statement from the Morovia City Corporation, that of the Pingsville City Corporation. In the early afternoon hours of Thursday, March 20, 2025, the Wentan sanitary landfill in the city of Pingsville was engulfed with huge flames of fire that has resulted to the temporary disruption in the collection and disposal of garbage from Morovia and Pingsville cities, respectively. In a robust and concerted response to the fire outbreak, at the Wenton landfill, Mayor John Cheryl Siafad and the mayor of the city of Pingsville, Robert S. Bestman II, immediately visited the site to assess the impact of the fire and subsequently inaugurated a special technical committee of inquiry to probe the fire outbreak and come up with findings and recommendations. In this joint press statement, the Morovia City Corporation and the Pingsville City Corporation wish to inform the public and stakeholders that the current situation at the country's only landfill is highly concerning and practical actions have been taken to contain the incident while at the same time working to ensure the safety of the community residents. Emergency services were immediately mobilized and deployed at the site in efforts to contain and extinguish the fire that are currently ongoing. But the magnitude of the fire could take days or a week before it is permanently resolved. Sanitation workers from both cities, including firefighters from the Liberia National Fire Service, as well as other local authorities, are actively working to control the situation and mitigate any potential risks to public health and the environment. The mayors of both cities regret the unfortunate situation and are committed to collaborating with the national government and international partners to find a sustainable solution to the problem and Wentan landfill, which will require substantial amounts of resources. Both sides have frank exchanges about the urgency of the situation and have agreed to work more firmly to furnish the national government with the outcome of the assessment report that will be submitted by the technical committee of inquiry. The landfill serves as the ultimate disposal destination for the secondary and primary waste that are collected from the streets and communities in Morovia and things with such. The current situation will ultimately cause the two cities to face significant difficulties moving garbage that has been gathered from waste hotspots to the transfer stations, which are already filled with stockpile of garbage. The enormity of the fire outbreak will potentially make the landfill highly inaccessible for final disposal of waste from the two cities. So that is the press statement, the joint press statement from both the city of Morovia and Pingswood about the Wentan landfill. As I speak to you, the stakeholders will be meeting today about uh, 8 to 9 o'clock this morning to assess because the team have been working to assess the current situation at the landfill. Morovia, Pingsville, the National Fire Service, and disaster management have joined the process to ensure that the fire is contained and normal working activity starts within the city of Pingsville. So that is it. So whenever there's an situation on the landfill, there will be this overflow of waste within the city because, mind you, if the both cities now, let me speak in the instant for Pingsville. If the city of Pingsville does not work for a day or two, you will see an overflow of waste. A clear example is about before reaching to the Depot Road Market. You will see pocket of waste all along the road. As you know, the Pinzo City Corporation sanitation team has been providing guidance and working along with the SOEs, the state-owned enterprises, short-term youth empowerment project that is currently ongoing. So we cannot lift the waste because we do not have a transfer station where we can temporarily place the waste in event like this. So we just appealing for your patience as we are doing all along with stakeholders to solve this problem. So now we will take a flight to Johnsonville and speak with the Director of Public Affairs at the Township of Johnsonville. When we come back, we'll turn over to our guest. Like I said, today we'll be speaking exclusively about advertisements in the city of Pingsville. All you need to know about advertisements. So let me now take a flight to the Township of Johnsonville. That's what I'm doing right now. To speak with the head of public affairs, Josephus Betty. Josephus Betty is fresh from the US. Up to now, I've not received anything from him saying you're giving me something. So let me now turn over to Josephus Betty. Josephus Betty, we establishing contact with you. Okay, Josephus Betty, the man who is fresh from the United States of America, is live on the line. Josephus, welcome. Up to now, we have not received our own gift, but anyway, that is not the situation. Tell us what is happening in Johnsonville.
Good morning, DJ. Stop holding down the last visit too much because it's like a publicity more than the information this morning.
I mean, we haven't received anything from you yet. Anyway, welcome.
Yeah, God is the best. We just went for a short thing and we are back and we give God the glory. But straight to the point, because listen to your intro, you got so many work to do this morning when it comes to that program. Right. So let's go straight into business, not to waste much of your time. Let me say thanks to you and your co-host for a wonderful job. Every Saturday, making sure that citizens of Pingsville and Johnsonville are informed every Saturday in Pingsville City and Johnsonville Township at large. Let me also appreciate Mr. B.N. Howard, my colleague, and also Lauren, the hard-working television man. I'd like to say thanks to all of you guys for the hard work. Okay, straight into business now, DJ. During the week, the lawmaker of the district, in person of Sickle, Suffolk County, as you may be aware, where the township is located, they took a tour in the district. He visited the cemetery. Too many news have been coming from the cemetery, including the breaking into grave, what we normally say. We normally call busting of graveyard. Criminals who are taking the cemetery to be their living places. During the night hours, they go about hijacking or checking people's bags. And remember, planes are on the way to erect a fence around the cemetery where security will be assigned in making sure they are out of that area. So that was one of the areas the lawmaker visited. He also visited the ongoing project in Mount Barkley. I'm talking about the 4 communities that normally get affected during the rainy season in terms of the flooding situation that normally affect residents in the areas. Those are some of the tour the lawmaker also took along with the Honorable Commissioner in President John Sonega Randall. They did over the weekend. And when it comes to that project in Mount Barkley, I must admit, I want to commend the hard-working team because that project gone nearly 80% in terms of completion. So we are very grateful to God that come this rainy season, we might not be 100% exact, but by the grace of the Almighty God, resident within Mount Barkley that normally get affected from the full community, we want to assure them that this time around, there will be minimization when it comes to flooding situation in that area. Let me, in my own way, condemn the recent assassination attempt on the life of the commissioner, this gentleman in person of Paris, where I am disappointed for this gentleman to tell the police that the commissioner is stopping all of the small jobbing. He might be a crazy person because under this administration, there will be no business as usual. I must admit, and I must be truthful to you guys. You can see the kind of transformation that is currently taking place in the township of Johnsonville. There is no gossip. You've been here, you have seen with your own eyes, you're still alive. So if anyone playing you, or if anyone think that you can come here and dump this administration, you are on a sinking sand. Let me just be bold to say this. And DJ, let me be frank with you. I don't know how it actually went to see him
So,
out.
so Josepha, Josepha, because of time, we spoke about it last week. The commissioner was live on the radio. So we will just leave it as that because, yeah, yeah. So, just on 1 minute, you can just wrap up because we have a guest already. The guest is seated in studio right now.
Yes, and finally, to conclusively conclude, the township honorable John Runner extended his sympathy to one of the greatest sons that the township lost in person of Pastor Daniel Mader, the current principal of the Ororimi Tinubu Public School here in Mambak, the township of Johnsonville. He passed out in India, and as I speak to you, a team from the commissioner office will also be going at the Rabat International Airport this morning to receive the body of Pastor Daniel Mader. So I want to say thanks to you guys. Don't worry over Benjamin. Benjamin, we can't DJ.
Josephus Betty is the Director of Public Affairs in the office of the Commissioner of the Township of Johnsonville. As you may be aware by now, the Pinzo City Corporation is in a partnership with the Township of Johnsonville. So that's why every Saturday we afford the Township of Johnsonville the opportunity to tell us what is happening. So we are about now to cross over to our guest, Will Duncan. He comes from Magic Group of Companies, and after a competitive bidding process, Magic Group of Company won the bid to do advertisement, control advertisement related activities in the city of Paintsville. So technically, they are controlling the advertisement department at the city of Paintsville. So today we'll speak all about advertisement. What do you need to know about advertisement? It is my pleasure this morning to just take over and welcome my brother. Good morning, Will.
Good morning, Jeremiah, and good morning to the wonderful people of Paintsville City. And it is exciting to always be here to share information to our people across Paintsville City as it relates to their operations in Paintsville.
Okay. So based on the intro, we spoke about advertisement.
Yeah.
So we not to just or many times just tell us about your institution before we go to the what constitute advertisement and so forth. Just briefly tell the people about your institution and how you got in contact and started working with the Paintsville City Corporation. Just on our minute.
Okay. So Magic Indoor and Outdoor Advertising Incorporated is a subsidiary company of Magic Group of Companies. And we're a Liberian company, Liberian-owned, Liberian-operated company that has existed under the laws of the Republic of Liberia, operating over the past 15 years, actively in the advertising, manufacturing, construction, logistics, transportation, engineering sectors. Earlier 2024, when the mayor of the city of Paintsville took over, the mayor being one of the very few people who have qualifications in urban management, when he took over the city of Paintsville as part of his robust plans to ensure that the city is giving a more vibrant look and that the city becomes highly competitive as far as a municipality amongst the committee of municipalities across the world. The mayor look at the different constraints that the city was faced with and thought it expedient and prudent to outsource some of the major services that could potentially bring revenue to the city. Amongst those services is advertisement. Also, as you may be aware, vehicular parking within the city of Painesville was also outsourced. And this is not a new concept, right? All across the world, major services of public institutions are outsourced. It's a common practice in administrative functioning. And what this does is it relieves the city of many of those logistical constraints, technical constraints, and other constraints that the city, will be grappling with, and it allows the city to focus on its core responsibilities
Sure.
of ensuring that a rule, order, and its core functions are carried out. So, like you rightly stated, through a very competitive bidding process. I can remember the bidding process came twice.
Sure.
It was a highly competitive bidding process. And after the competitive bidding process early of last year, my company, Magic Group of Companies, emerged as the winner of the outsource agreement to regulate, enforce, and ensure that advertising in the city of Painesville is given proper perspective.
Okay.
So that's how Magic Group of Companies came into the picture.
Okay. So let's get into it now. Can you just briefly explain to the listeners what constitutes advertisement within the city of Painesville?
Well, the term advertisement, as used in the municipal context or for city government, it refers to any public information, any display of public information, visuals, or messages that are intended to promote businesses, events, services, or any public initiative that a person or group of persons may have within the city. Now, these events, like are regulated by the city, and there are different types of advertisement. The types of advertisements that people may carry out in the city, some of them include the usual ones, billboards or signboards. Then we have street furniture advertisement. Now you see some people they have their kiosks, and then they have a big brand of whatever business product or services that they have. That is a type of advertisement that the city regulates and also taxes too. We also have what we call vehicular advertising. So you see these big trucks or these vehicles with different branded products or branded services. They are also a type of advertisement that the city regulates and also the city taxes for. We also have what we call wall branding.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you look at different walls, you see different brand have their advertisement on those walls. The city also regulate that, and then the city also taxes for that. We also have posters, flyers. So if Jeremiah is getting married next week and then he decides that he wants this to be a publicly advertised event, and then he decides to hang a banner at Dupont Road Junction, at maybe 72nd Junction, he wants everybody to know. The city regulates that, and the city can tax for that as well. It's a form of advertising. We also have digital signages.
So as you progress, I understand, but so you can just be intermittently be breaking it down for the people who may not be understand what you're really saying. So some of the jargons you can at least break it down to suit those who follow it, because we want everyone to know exactly what is advertisement, what constitutes advertisement within the city of Painesville. Okay. So
as
you're
I
talking
was
about
saying,
signages, you can come down a little bit. I think you're talking about the signboards. I thought you're talking about.
Okay. So I was on digital signages. So the digital one, the one I can use current.
Okay.
The one that use the screen. Okay. So if you have a business and you intend to use a digital screen to put your products or your services to advertise it, whether it's on your building or adjacent your building, with the exception of your service name. Now, we do not tax your service name. So if Jeremiah and Sons Incorporated is at Dupont Road Junction, and then it's in a digital format or whatever format is in, whether it's sticker, whether it is a banner, One is your service name, like Jeremiah and Sons Incorporated.
Mhm.
The city does not tax or
Okay.
charge you for that.
Okay.
But if you have the pictures of the services that you do, so you get pictures of maybe you bobbing here there,
Mhm.
or maybe you exchanging money as a forex exchange bureau, or maybe you selling used clothes, or maybe you selling food. You get all the Tobogi picture there, you get the
Yeah.
GB picture
So you
there.
pay for that.
You will pay for that. The
Okay.
city charges that because it's a form of advertising. You
Okay.
don't charge for your service name. You can make your service name as large as you can. We will not measure that. We will not bill you for that. But we charge for other types of advertisement, like the pictures, the images that you put on your structure.
Okay.
Now, we're also talking about banners and flags. So if you have, like I said, if you have an event coming up,
Mhm.
it's a concert, whatever kind of event you have coming up, and then you put signages on our street, we can regulate that, meaning you have to inform us that you are about to have this event, and then you need a permit for that to be
Okay.
able to put signages or whatever sticker, whatever banner on our street, and then we also can charge
So,
you for
so
that.
that is now taking us in your scope of operation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can just expand on that by telling us your scope of operations when it comes to the advertisement within the city of Painesville.
All right. Just before entering the scope of operation, let me just close on
Mhm.
some other thing.
Okay.
Another type of advertisement that we've seen that is common that most people think that is not a form of advertisement is what we call the glass door advertisement. Now, the city previously has also been charging for glass door advertisement, what we call mesh.
Okay.
The one where they call when you inside your shop,
Mhm.
you can see what's outside. But when the
Who
people
outside
outside,
can
they can
see?
only see that advertisement, the picture of the thing that you're doing in
Okay.
that business.
Okay.
We call it glass door advertisement, or we call it mesh advertisement.
Okay.
The city also charges for that.
Okay.
And we also regulate that. So talking about scope of operation, we have been vested with the mandate to regulate advertising, to enforce the advertising regulations, to provide a sort of order in
Okay.
terms of advertising, and also to bill and collect advertising revenue. So regulation, monitoring, enforcement, the billing and collection of advertising revenue within the city of Painesville.
So how you do that? Are you doing it in now this particular aspect of the city operation has been given to you, also to you. How do you what about doing it? Do you have people from PCC that are working along with you
Right,
to do that?
right.
Okay. How is it done?
Like our work is not a small task.
Yeah,
Painesville is the
it's not a small thing.
Painesville is the largest city in the Republic of Liberia.
Sure.
It's twice as big as Monrovia. Most people think Monrovia is bigger than Painesville, but
No.
Painesville is twice as large as Monrovia. It's the largest city in Painesville. So we have technical experts. We
Okay.
have people in different. We divide our team of experts into four. We have administrative, financial, field operation, and tech, and then we have support staff. Okay. So we liaise with the city corporation to ensure that our mandate is carried out expeditiously, and our mandate is carried out with the fullest confidence of the mayor of the city of Painesville. So our working is like what the people can say, pari passu, is in line. We do not exclusively operate. We work in line.
Okay.
Every activity of our enforcement is coordinated from the office of the mayor with the guidance of the city manager, the ever erudite J. Maxwell Bender. He's been very supportive. And advertising, as you know, and as other cities know it to be, is the major source of internal generated revenue for the city. And for a striving city like Painesville has too many challenges, ranging from the collection of waste, the disposal of waste, employment issues, regulating petty traders and vendors. Even advertising has come a long way with its own challenges. And one of the challenges that we've known in the advertising sector is the unregulated activities in previous past. And that was the reason that necessitated this outsourcing agreement for advertising to be regulated. Because left alone, human beings, if they're left alone, they will cause chaos by themselves.
Sure.
That is the reason why we have law and order and regulation to ensure that our city has the necessary aesthetics that it needs, that there is order in advertising, there's regulation in advertising, and of course, there is revenue, lawful and legal revenue generated from the process.
Okay.
So if you do a flashback analysis of what Pinsville used to look like versus what Pinsville looks like today, you see the clear understanding. You can draw a dichotomy and get to know that now the advertising space is in order. You cannot do certain signages at certain places because you have to pass through the right procedures. They are laid out procedures before doing any form of advertising. And just to share this in passing, we're in some consultations with some of the stakeholders, and they were impressed. Some of the big companies, they were impressed. They were saying, if you compare Pinsville with other parts of Liberia, you get to see that there's this thing they call visual clutter. You see too many symbols at a particular point. But when you come to Pinsville, you see that we're trying to regulate amidst the many challenges that we have.
Yeah, speaking about challenges, since the January 2025, you started active work, and you're dealing with people. You met people, you're in this particular business, and what have been the notable challenges you have encountered? Though there are praises coming from people, big companies that want to do the advertisement, but what are these challenges that you think that you encounter? Though you may have solved it, but maybe you just want us to understand it since January 2025.
I think information, lack of information, has been one of the major challenges about people. We live in a society that people don't value information. When information is available, people do not take upon themselves to go after the information, to seek out information, to seek out clarity. So because of that lack of information from our people, they think that most times when they see the city enforcing certain regulations, they see it as strange, they see it as uncommon. But the mere fact that you do not know something does not render it strange. The mere fact that you do not know something does not render it uncommon, right?
Sure.
So most times the onus rests on us, the citizens, to go and seek clarity, to go and seek information. That burden is on us because the role of the city government is to ensure that law order prevails, and the city government is doing that with all of the boldness and austerity that required. So onus is on us, the citizens, to go and always see clarity. What's new in the city? And that's the reason we have programs like PCC Today to follow up on every existing activity within the city. But far too often, Jeremiah, most of our people, they will say, "Oh, we know." But
that's the common thing. We don't
know is not an excuse to, adhering to the municipal guidelines and the ordinances.
So, what have you been doing as a team since you started, especially when you encounter people saying we do not know? What do you do? What do you say to them?
Well, most times when they say we know or we're not aware, what we do, so we have this memo that we distributing all across the city.
Okay.
And we started this distribution December 10th. So we've been distributing this memo all across the city, informing the people about advertisement regulations, some of the portions that advertisement covered. That if you have businesses within Pinsville, because they are big corporations, they have their headquarters in Monrovia, but they have operations in Pinsville. They have their corporate offices in Monrovia, but they have vehicles that can pass through Pinsville.
Okay. So on the issue of that, I'd like to know, what do you do in the Eastern? Because we've been getting information that there are people who do they bring the vehicle in Morovia
Yeah.
and they pay for that, and they want to use it in Pingsville without wanting to pay. When you ask them, they say, "But we did it already in Morovia." So, what do you do in this instance when you see people, when you encounter businesses like that?
Well, our team of field inspectors, they are very robust.
Okay.
And owing to the robust nature of our team of field inspectors, we've seen a huge increment in revenue being generated from, branded vehicle advertisement. So what they do normally is they will respectfully park the car and ask for your advertising permit
For Pingsville.
for Pingsville City.
Okay.
Mind you, Pingsville City is different from Monrovia City.
Yeah.
Pingsville City has its own mayor, it has its own city council, it has its own magisterial court, it has its own administrative office.
Sure.
So Pingsville City is quite different from Monrovia City. We have our own legal demarcations, we have our own scope of operation. So what you have as a permit from Monrovia City only allows you within the metes and bounds of Monrovia City. When you come to Pingsville City, we have our own metes and bounds, we have our own demarcations, we have our own structure here. So you need to have a permit for vehicle advertising or any other forms of advertising that are captured within our scope.
It's a
So
very huge job.
it is a huge.
It's very simple, but
It
it's
is
not very difficult. Do you have the manpower to do this, to be all around, to know, because there are several entrances to the city of Pingsville?
Absolutely, absolutely, and in fact, it's one of the strengths of our company, right? We have people all around. And Jeremiah, you are the PR man. You can tell how many calls you receive on a daily basis from people. It tells you that my team, is robust in its operation. We have people all across Pingsville, from 72nd to Double Bridge to Bernard Farm. We have people all across Thinkers Village. So you can't go in Pingsville City and you ignore the advertising department. We're very robust in our operation, but we maintain a sense of calm sensitivity to the economy. We also maintain a sense of a cooperation, because we know every part of the world, taxpayers are unfriendly people sometimes. But with the consideration, with the overarching drive to ensure that Liberia becomes better than what it used to be, that Liberia becomes more developed than what it used to be, with the consideration that development is not only the national repository or reserve of the executive, but development is a joint effort. Development is a joint effort from private citizens, businesses, and other agencies that are not in government. Okay, so development is not just a national executive priority or prerogative. Each one of us play a cardinal role in the growth and development of our city, and that's what we always encourage our citizens in Pingsville to do.
The conversation is so much interesting right now, and I'm receiving text messages about how important this conversation is. But unfortunately, I've just been informed that the time, so we may have part 2 of this discussion, maybe next week or another time, because a lot of things you need to say to us concerning this. This is very strategic. People need to understand it. But so far, what have been some of the successes you have been able to score since you took over in January?
Well, so far we've received mammoth congratulations from the citizens in Pingsville. We're so happy most times when the team of inspectors go out in the field. They are received with such admiration, and we've been told that this is a very good initiative. This is something that they look forward to in collaborating to ensure that the city of Pingsville is given its vibrant look, to ensure that Pingsville becomes competitive and comparative to other developed cities across not just Africa, but across the world. And another huge joy or commendation that we receive is the sector now, advertising sector in Pingsville, is highly regulated as opposed to before. that anyone can just wake up in the morning and plant a signboard, wake up in the morning, do any form of publicity without seeking the necessary permits from the city of Painesville. So the advertising sector now is highly regulated, and then we are collecting legal and lawful revenue from advertising, ensuring that the internal revenue generation of the city is strengthened and is also increased to ensure more efficient and effective city administration.
Okay. So just on a minute, can you just tell us what are some of the ongoing activities, and then you can just blend that with that of your parting comments, because there's no more time. We may do it next week again. You may come back next week to elaborate further on the workings of your institutions with the Painesville City Corporation, specifically on the issue of advertisements.
So currently we're still distributing the memo, the information on the need for businesses that have advertisement on their premises, the need for them to allow the city inspectors to do their work, to build them, and then subsequently within a 30-day period for them to pay their advertising revenue.
Okay.
We currently still doing that. We also simultaneously collecting advertising revenue, as we've already built some other businesses as we cover the city of Painesville incrementally. We're also simultaneously ensuring that branded vehicles that ply the streets of Painesville have the permits that they need from the city of Painesville. And businesses have already applied for permit. And the application process for permit is free. You don't collect money for applying for permits. So once you have your business and you have branded vehicle, whether it is the logo of the company on that truck or on that bus or on that keke or on that taxi or on that SUV, once it plies the streets of Painesville, is displaying vehicular advertisement. The process for applying for permit is free. And once you apply for permit, we charge you on the basis of the size of the vehicle with the plate. So there's a different cost for A2, A3, C1, C2, and it goes up and up, much like what the Ministry of Transport does. So we charge you on the basis of that, and then once that is done, we issue your bill. You get to pay your advertising revenue through a bank deposit. No field inspector is allowed to hold money.
Okay.
Your advertising revenue or your advertising bill is allowed to be paid through a bank deposit and not cash to field inspectors. So whatever figure that you have, no
more time. Thank you so much, Wacon Duncan. He comes from Magic Group of Companies, the company hired by the Painesville City Corporation to carry on advertisement related activities in the city of Painesville. Hope to be with you next Saturday. We'll have Wacon there who will come again and speak more about the activities. So on behalf of the entire team, my name is Jeremiah Father DJ. Have yourself a wonderful Saturday from Painesville.